Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we'll be covering balancing day 2. Today in notes, we're really going to cover polyatomic ions and how to balance with those. So if polyatomic ions are on both sides of the equation, you'll recognize some in this one, NH4, PO4, OH. If they're on both sides of the equation, then we can just balance them as one single thing instead of separately. Draw my line down the center, and then instead of writing NHPOBaOH, I'm just going to write NH4, PO4, Ba, and OH. I'm going to go ahead and write that on both sides of the equation. Now I'm going to count. I have 3 NH4s, 1 PO4, 1 barium, and 2 hydroxides. On the right-hand side, the product side, I have 1 NH4 and 1 OH, 3 bariums, and 2 phosphates. First thing I notice, NH4 is not balanced, so I'm going to go ahead and put a 3 here. That changes my NH4 to a 3. It also changes my OH to a 3. Next, I have my PO4. If I put my PO4, I need to make that a 2, so I write a 2 as the coefficient. Changes that as a 2, but it also changes this to a 6. So I need to change this to a 6, which changes this to a 6, and the OH to a 6. The only thing left to balance is my barium and my hydroxide. If I multiply by 3, I'm going to get my barium to equal 3 and my hydroxide to equal 6. For our second, let's go to the second example. With sodium nitrate with lead oxide. So again, I draw my line down the center, separating the reactants and the products. Then I start listing. Our second thing we're going to write is nitrate and O3. Then we have lead and oxygen. Count them. On the other side, we're going to write them in the same order. Count them. I have 2 sodiums, 2 NO3s, 1 lead, and 1 oxygen. So the things that are different are my sodium and my NO3. This is a 2, this is a 1. In order to make it a 2, I need to put a 2 out front and multiply each by 2. We are done. Example number 3. Write out all of our parts. Notice we have 3 single elements and then 1 polyatomic. We're going to write the polyatomic ion all together. Go ahead and count how many we have of each. Write them on the product side and count how many we have. Okay. First thing I notice is I have 2 silvers over there, so I'm going to write it 2. So that 2 up there makes my silver 2 and my iodide 2. Next thing I notice is that I have a 2 for iodide and a 3 for iodine on the product side. So their least common multiple, or the thing they can both go into, that's the smallest, is 6. So I multiply that by 2. That changes my iodide to 6, changes my iron to 2. So I'm going to go over here. Instead of this 2, I'm now going to have a 6, so that my silver can become 6. My iodine can become 6. I now need my silver to be 6 over here, and my carbonate to be 3. So I'm going to add a 3 here. Makes my silver 6 and my carbonate 3. And we are done. For example number 4, we're going to draw our line, then list out all of our elements. Zinc, sulfate, lithium, carbonate. Okay. Count them on each side. And when I check, you'll notice they are already balanced. So we do not have to do anything there. For example number 5, we're going to draw our line, write our elements. Count them. Okay. First thing I notice is that my oxygens do not match. So in order to make them match, I'm going to write a 5 here in front of my calcium oxide. That changes my oxygen to 5. It also changes my calcium to 5. So now the two that don't match are my calcium and sulfur. They both need to be 5. So I add a 5 right here in front of my calcium sulfide. And everything is then balanced. For number 6, we have C, H, and O. Counting, I have 2 carbons, 4 hydrogens. For my oxygen, I have 2 here and 2 here, so that's 4 total. On this side, I have 1 carbon, 2 hydrogens, and then oxygen, 2 plus 1, so 3. To start balancing, I'm going to start with my carbon. So I have 2 over on my reactant side and 1 on my product side. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply that part by 2. Okay. That also changes my oxygen. So I have 4 here now, and then my 1. So that's 5 total now. The next thing that doesn't balance is my hydrogen. 4 hydrogens here and only 2 here. So I'm going to put a 2 as a coefficient. That changes my hydrogen to 4. It also changes my oxygen. Oxygen, now I have 2 here and 4 here for a total of 6. Now I need to figure out what to put here in the space in front of O2 in order to make my total oxygens equal 6. I'm always going to have this 2, so this part needs to equal 4. So I'm going to put a 2 here. And that's going to make this part 4 and this part 2 for a total of 6. For our last example, anytime you see OH on one side and then H2O on the other side, you're going to split water. We can split water into H and OH. Okay? So that is exactly how I'm going to list it down here for my elements. I have H, SO4, B, and then OH. On the other side, same thing. H, SO4, B, OH. So I have 2 hydrogens, 1 SO4, 1 boron, and 3 hydroxides. On the other side, I have 1 hydrogen, 3 SO4s, 2 borons, and 1 OH. Okay. First thing I notice, start from the top. You never want to start with hydrogen or oxygen. So let's start with SO4. We have 3 over here. We only have 1 here. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 3 here. That makes my hydrogen 6 and my sulfates 3. Next thing I notice is that boron does not match. Boron is 2 over here and only 1 over here. So I'm going to put a 2 as a coefficient. That changes my boron and my hydroxide. Now the things that don't match are H and OH. They need to be 6, so I need a coefficient of 6. And everything matches then. You guys do have a homework assignment, so if you do have any questions for that, please let me know. Have a great day.